Good morning, Canadian Yarn Horde. My name is Alyssa, and as you can see, that's Willow back there, and there's Maya right over there. She's sleeping, and so is he. Today we are going to do a basic curtain tie. I don't know how many people need this. I do know I use them daily, so I open my curtains and I tie them back with it. So I thought it might be something nice that maybe you don't think about and you can make yourself. So I'm going to move you over to the overhead cam and we're going to get started. So I am going to start by saying you are going to want a button on top of your yarn and your needles. Now this yarn I have is, oh, that one ripped, is called Metal Luxe. It's a loops and threads yarn. It is 50% acrylic and 30% polymade, which I'm not really sure what that is. It is a 4 medium. It recommends a 5 millimeter needle and 5 millimeter hook. I am going to be using a 5 millimeter needle and hook, but I'm going to double it up. So I want it a little bit thicker than it actually is. Now, I am going to cast on, this one is just knit. I am probably going to create a couple of crocheted ones. I have a few ideas for some holidays and that. So right now I'm going to cast on 15 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and as normal, 15 goes on. Now, the first rows, the first 1, 2, 4, 6 rows are going to be all knit. So you're going to knit all the way through. And these are very long needles, so it is going to take me a second. So I will come back after I'm done this. So it's a 1 row repeat for 6 rows. So you're just going to do this for 6 rows. I will come back and then I will show you the pattern from there on. So I have my 6 rows. Your 7th row is going to be knit, and where it's going to change is row 8. And as you've noticed, I did change to my Susan Bates needles. I do love these. They aren't as long. They are my second favorite needle. I love my arrows, but they were a little long. So I did go to a little smaller needle. It's a much more manageable needle. So it works a lot better for a smaller project. I always try to make sure my needles are small, on the smaller end of the project I'm working on. So now, and this yarn is lovely, but it sticks to itself just. So now you're going to knit 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. You're going to bring the yarn back. You're going to purl to the last 3 stitches. Now this is actually important. This one, as you can see, it flattens it a little bit. It is supposed to stay flat, but this one like to curl inwards, so it is what it's going to do. This is a great place to showcase any fancy buttons you have. It is a really good place to go out, buy a really nice fancy button and be like, okay, that's the one I want for my living room. And when you get to the last 3, you're going to knit. Now you are going to do this. You're going to do this pattern of knit 3, purl to the end, knit 3, and then knit rows for 10 1/4 inches. So I'm going to do that. I will be back when I have my 10 1/4 inches. I'm going to finish it off, show you how to finish it off, sew on the button, and I will show you how it works. I will be back in a minute. So I've got it here. Sorry. Now we're going to knit for 6 rows, and then I will put on the button and I'm going to put on the loop. So I'm going to do my 6 rows of knitting now, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to cast off, and we'll go from there. I'll be back in just a second. Though I did want to say, if you are a new viewer, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much. I appreciate that. What I like to do, I basically like to tell you that I do daily updates Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm showing you the back, what I'm doing in the background, so that way you can see some of the bigger projects I work on behind the scenes or filming or whatever. You can see how long they take for something like a TikTok. That way you get a realistic view of how long this takes. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, I release a project video just like this. So that is what I do. I would love to earn your like and subscription. I would love to hear from you, and any questions, comments, concerns you have below. That would be awesome. I love to hear from my viewers. It's great. Even if it's just to say hi, I love that. I'm going to be back when I'm done my 6 rows, and I will show you how I cast off, and then I'll show you what it looks like on a curtain. So I'll be back in a second. So I've got my 6 rows, and now I'm going to start casting off. So you're just going to cast off like this. And this is how you just cast off. I am going to finish this off, and I will show you once I'm done casting off how I'm going to put the loop on one end, which will probably be this end, and then I'm going to sew on a button, which I'm pretty sure I like these beautiful buttons that I have here. I did get them from just the dollar store, and they have a little technique to make sure that they aren't too flat. I want to have a bit of a tail, so there is that. Now, this one, when I went to put it around, I realized it wasn't good. It wasn't good enough, so I ended up doing one to make it a little bit longer. This one should be fine. Come on. Oh, that's why. So because there's a knot in there, I'm gonna have to cut that one out. So I'm gonna cut these right here. Now what I'm gonna do is I want to go into the center with the string. So I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm just gonna leave this till I get it into the center. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can always just grab a piece of thread, and that just locks it into place so it won't come undone on you. And now I'm just going to make my slip knot. And we're going to just chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that'll give me a loop like that. So I'm just going to grab this, sew it down into here. Travel it back down. There we go. Now I'm going to double back. And then for the button, you want to use thread. And I actually, like I said, I have a little technique I use to keep especially a button like this. If you have a button like I have on the purple one, which has that backing that opens it up, you'll be fine, but these ones don't. So what I like to do, come on, there we go. That through, I'm going to trim that off. And then Now I have to grab my thread. So that may take me a second. Just have to find it wherever I put it. I'm going to pause here until I can find my thread, so I'll be back in a second. So as I've said before, I've been an avid beader for years, about 15 years, so I have a lot of supplies kicking around. So what I want to do to sew the button on is I'm going to put the threader through the needle just to make it easier for myself, and then pull it through. So that threaded my needle. Oops. Now you're going to, and I do realize I'm using red. It was the first thread I grabbed out of my drawer. I wasn't worried too much about it. And just going to tighten that up a couple of times. Now I want to put the button right center, just right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 little pony seed beads, they're called, and then I'm going to grab the button. Do not pull it tight. Grab the beads on the way in and go to the back. Now here you'll be able to tighten it, and then you just want to run the needle through a few times so you don't lose your button. So you're just going to tighten it up. Tighten that properly and go up and through, trying to make sure you do not bypass the seed beads. You want to make sure you get into them. Now come through and repeat. And as I said, you're going to do that a couple of times just to make sure you get a really good base on the button. Just want to go up, thread it through the beads. One bead, second one. This will be my last one because I can tell that the beads and the button are getting harder to go through. Come through down here, and then we're going to tie it up. And I will show you what it looks like on a curtain. Oh, perfect. Tie. And then if you are worried about the thread, I like to wrap it around a couple of times before I tighten. So you just kind of knot it. I do have a knot in there, so I don't know if that's going to work fully. And then I'm going to just trim it. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like on. Oh, I guess I have to tie in those first. And I will show you in just a second. So there they are on a curtain, the 2 of them. And that will do it for me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you again. Bye.